We cool.
Okay, yeah, no, we're good. Trust me.
I was using this as the little.
What I'd be looking at is this guy right here that wants to go here, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like you might have to put your part there. It doesn't look bad. You might have that little shelf. Because if you tried to bring it over, well, I mean, that's what you're fighting against. Is putting the part here and then having this here. You know what I mean? It almost makes sense to let that go here, put that line through here. And yeah.
I just feel like that's too high.
Too far over, huh?
But if I do it this way, because I don't have that piece on this side. I mean, it's good.
No, you don't.
There's product in it anyways, usually, so.
Which is going to make it go over the way you want it to. I mean, technically, you can do it on any side and put that line anywhere you want.
Do you notice it more on one side or more than the other?
I mean, we could put it here, but you use product and try to get it back over that, you know, we could put it almost anywhere.
All right. Well,
you want to try it?
Let's try it on this side, just to see. I mean, just sports in general, man. Like, I've been watching a lot of baseball lately. I was surprised with the suspension on Morant, man. I don't know how I feel about it.
25 games?
25 games. I was watching Adrian Wojnarowski drop a word bomb on us, and he was saying that, like, they did it, anything over 18 games, you can't get postseason awards. So
yeah, that's big, man, because now it actually sounds like it's more than just a 25-game suspension now. Yeah. Right? They're telling us it's a 25-game suspension, but it's actually eating up his legacy a little bit, right? So he's almost forfeited his right to get any type of accolades off the season, right?
Yeah, and I think what they're doing is they gave him 25 games. I think he'll appeal it, and they'll knock it down to the 18. That's what I think is going to happen. But he's not going to be eligible for postseason awards this next year, which would suck. I mean, imagine he goes to the finals, wins it, and can't win finals MVP.
Right, because that'll be a huge slap in the face.
They're saying it's going to cost him about $50 million. Just
off that.
Yeah, just for
and we're talking about 2 incidents where he basically just flashed his gun. No violence, nothing done. It's just not a good look for us, so we're not willing. We're taking $50 million. We're taking as much money as we can, and it just so happens to be in the amount of about $50 million.
Well, that's what's crazy to me, man. It's like it's a non-violent. It's not even a crime. He didn't even commit a crime.
Right.
If it was his gun in Denver, it would have been a guaranteed. So if you bring it on the team plane, it's a guaranteed 50-game suspension.
Really quick, do we do if you just kind of run me through the cap, do we do a 1 on the side?
Yeah, 1 faded up with the hard part.
Okay, is this one going to be midway or a high fade? Like,
I'm going to leave that to you. I just don't know.
Just make it look good?
Yeah.
Do we taper the back and the sides?
I believe so.
Okay, so taper back and sides. You tell me how much we're going to take off the top. You want a hard part somewhere in here. Yep. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and then just basically, because it's going to be flown with the hard part.
Right.
If he brought the gun on the plane, it's, I don't know if it's 50 games. I'm pretty confident in saying that it's an automatic 50-game suspension. A poor choice in terms of, making that, showing the gun. Now, the second time, man, like, honestly, I feel like the first situation should have had more of a punishment than the second.
The first one, it should have been a little bit more.
Yeah, because I mean, Morant's in the car in the second incident. He flashes the gun, and that's it. In the other one, he's like flaunting the gun in a public place where there's alcohol and money. There's more than likely drugs there.
Just all kinds of
in terms of like,
just doesn't look good.
Exactly. In terms of like drugs on the premises, not necessarily with this group. I'm just saying in general. And so I feel like that was way more detrimental to the league than the car. But I mean, he met with Adam Silver. They had a one-on-one conversation, and he did it again.
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to go hard on somebody based off the first-time offense. Like, considering this is a habitual offender, which you wouldn't know until the second time, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's on their way to a habit, right? you wouldn't know off the first time. You would give a better assessment going, their second or third, fourth, fifth time going into this, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of side with them, not going so hard based off the fact that maybe this is the guy that maybe one time is all he needs, gets on that straight and narrow. Some people do, some don't. But I just thought that, John Morant being as a prominent player as he would and as he is, having a dad in his ear, like a father figure, it just seems to me like he would have better hold of the situation, but it's not always the case, Just because you have a father figure or a mom or dad in the situation, or doesn't mean that you're going to be doing, the right thing every time. So,
yeah, I think that makes sense. So, take that and put it where we're at now. Do you feel like 25 games is fair? Do you think it's too hard? What do you think?
I think that it was definitely different. I haven't heard of the NBA going this hard on somebody who, did they go that hard on Draymond Green? But he really did the action. And when the action was there, it's on camera, everything's there, basically knocked the guy out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Violence is done, right?
Yeah.
So, how harsh was that suspension? Was it relevant? It just seems that from player to player, the NBA chooses different time frames for, I don't know if they're going to a different court for the players, I don't know. But it definitely appears that something's different based on, it doesn't seem like everything is across the board even to me, so.
Yeah, but in terms of that, him punching, I'm assuming you're talking about the Jordan Poole incident.
Right.
That's in the heat of the battle, You're in a highly competitive environment. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't take away from him striking him right in the face, but that is a lot more laid back than flashing a gun that could potentially kill someone.
Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah, but dude, what is? If when I'm at the club, I'm usually drunk, or at least feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? It takes one mistake with that weapon to kill someone.
It don't take much.
Yeah. Whereas he punched him in the face, can you die from getting punched in the face? If you hit him perfectly, the odds are a lot less to get shot in the face.
Right.
But I do agree with you in terms of each player is treated differently. You'll have, I don't know, maybe because the NFL, the NBA PA is super against the length of the suspension, saying it's excessive and baseless. So I just don't know.
I just think that everything happened so quick. It was back to back. It was
yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't sit well either.
Yeah, he was set up on that second one, man. It wasn't even his IG live, was it? He was just sitting in the passenger seat chilling.
Yeah.
And then someone showed him on camera and was like, no.
Yeah.
They just released a story today, actually, man. He would send a picture. He sent a picture to his close friends or close people who were like, "What are you doing?" Da, da, da. The gun was actually, according to him, was just a lighter. But yeah, an article just came out and they showed the picture of it. And I'll send it to you. The attachment. But jumping off that topic into something more positive, dude. Mike Malone, his name's Mike Malone, right? The coach for the Nuggets.
Right.
Man, what an insane year for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was well deserved. That's one of my big things too, man. I'm so appreciative of Denver being able to get a ring, their first ring, and major accomplishment. But I almost kind of feel like the coach should have got maybe coach of the year. He held down the number one spot all year. Certainly hard to do. Assembled a great team.
Do you know off the top of your head who won it?
Mike Brown from the Kings, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me. I'm just a barber, but I think it was Mike Brown.
So the only way I can see, he was definitely in the conversation for Coach of the Year. But if you take a step back and you look at the talent, did the Kings or the Nuggets have more talent? One, where were they at last year to this year? You know what I mean? Those are the things that I would look at personally.
Well, I mean, that's gracious. You know what I mean?
Like, Jokic was a back-to-back MVP. Jamal Murray, he came back and he was balling. Like, and they have, the Nuggets have De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think that's the end of that list.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Nuggets got Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr.
Well, I mean, they even had DeAndre Jordan on the bench. I'm not saying that he's a big time player. You know,
that's right. He was on the bench.
He was a star and big time player in the league. So to me, it just seemed like Denver did things right. That's why I give the coach even more credit. Because to have a guy like DeAndre Jordan off the bench, and well, we even forgot he was there. Needless to say, they almost didn't need him, so he got a beneficiary ring. Even though I still do like DeAndre Jordan, think he was a really good, prominent player, we didn't see much of him. And the team was still assembled. You know, they were healthy all year long. I mean, to me, I'm still going with Denver. Coach being the coach of the year in my eyes, but it was still awarded, not taking anything from Mike Brown. I think it's well deserved. But I just wish the NBA would look at the full season, including the playoff, or I think it'd be kind of jacked up to give a coach's award, you know, after you already gave an award, you know, for the entire season, just for the playoff. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, you have to have a year. They shouldn't be giving out awards until after playoffs.
Until after the playoff.
It kind of bugs me that they give the awards out in the playoffs.
Before you, it's like
I mean, the MVP of the league was Joel Embiid, and and the only thing he did better than Jokic this year was score more points.
Yeah.
Like, I look at
seriously.
And you look at all the stats, obviously I don't have them in front of me, dude. Like, Jokic out-rebounded him, out-assisted him, was only a couple of points behind him per game. His team was better, the number one seed the whole year.
Right. I mean, it's just, it doesn't weigh out. It almost makes you wonder, how do they come to, I mean, like, I don't know. Even if the fans voted, would Coach of the Year go to Mike Brown at the end of everything?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The problem with the fan votes for those is just like, you have the people who are like, they're like, oh, I'm only voting for. Well, it's like, look at the All-Star games. Mm-hmm. Like, even in baseball, dude. Like, there's people that are going to the All-Star game, and there's people that are getting snubbed.
Right.
Strictly because of
popularity.
Yeah.
Right. Who sells more tickets for us, right?
Yeah.
They get rewarded.
I'm gonna let you decide, man, because it's to the point where it's almost too short to style, but I don't know if much needs to come off.
Yeah, I would take a very small, like here, just even.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
You know, just kind of even things out.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on that, man. I think that they should wait till the end of the season to award, you know, coaches and players for their accolades. Yeah. Because it gives them, you know, a better view of, you know, what really went on, what really took place. Because hypothetically speaking, let's say the Heat this year from that number 8 seed, because that's big too. I mean, they came from an 8 seed.
Are you talking about playoff Jimmy?
Yeah, right, man. We're talking about playoff Jimmy here, man. So, I mean, in the barbershop, I would ask people all the time, hey, man, who do you want to win? And people just like Jimmy Butler. People like, I mean, just something about the guy that they liked. And
yeah, man, like I'm from Denver. I was born and raised in Colorado, and so I should have been rooting for the Nuggets after the Lakers got knocked out. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't, man. I was rooting for playoff Jimmy, because I mean everybody loves the underdog story, and that man leaves it on the court.
100%, and nobody could argue that.
He looking like Della Vadova out there.
No, man, but definitely, I mean, so even there, Spoelstra could have been credited, you know, coach of the year, just based off the fact that his number 8 seed team, you know, with this, I mean, they don't have as many superstars, nearly as much if we're talking about rosters. You know, we were talking about rosters with the Kings, but in terms of the roster competing with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, yeah,
the roster wasn't nearly as good for the Heat as Denver is on paper.
Exactly. Like their starting five was Jimmy Butler, Strus, Bam Adebayo, or Kevin Love, and
I watched them Kevin Love.
Yeah, Maxwell. I mean, it was just it was nothing. I don't mean to say nothing. Like they're obviously amazing players. They're NBA players, right? So they deserve to be there. It's just you put them against a team that's like the Celtics. You put them against the Celtics, and they came out and won Game 7. And that's where like I think the awards don't really matter. I mean, because there was a time where LeBron should have won it every single year when he was the number one player in the league, and it wasn't even close.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't have nearly as many MVPs as he should, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Chris, I think they gave it to was it Steve Nash?
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, Nash had a great year too. I mean, even better year from the line, but somehow, he shot 93% from the line, which is really hard to do. He had a great season. He was leading in assists in so many categories. He was even putting up big points. And to me, it was one of the more entertaining seasons from Steve Nash to watch was the year he won it. So,
I guess the question comes down to what is the MVP? Is the MVP based off stats or is it based off of making your team better? Because no one makes their team better than LeBron James.
Yeah, that's a great question.
In this time period.
That's a great question. I agree with you on that one for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a gray area, when it comes to that question, because everybody is basically just giving their opinion, but the NBA definitely hasn't set in stone what they're taking these. How they're basically coming to these conclusions, drawing these conclusions for these players,
Yeah.
And giving these accolades out. It's just, I even felt Kobe Bryant was snubbed. I mean, there's players that I felt were snubbed from accolades.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, why does it happen?
It just doesn't make much sense, to be honest. Like, you just look at the overall season, like, you gotta watch every game. You gotta watch the plays that don't show up on the stat sheet.
That's true.
What game winners did they hit? What right decisions did they make that caused that team to win?
That's true. That's true.
I'm not seeing
all huge factors.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Embiid out there in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, just be giving the ball like Jokic was.
True.
Like that man. If he gets into the paint, you cannot stop him.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
One of the funniest things I ever heard is Jokic looks like the uncle at a barbecue playing in flip-flops. And I've never been able to unsee it.
No, and the way that he destroys his opponents, it's unorthodox.
It's unreal.
You see it, you see it. So,
yeah, it's just crazy.
He's an interesting player, man, for sure.
I love that, like,
basketball's second to him. Family's first. Or not family, like his life is first. He said, I don't love basketball, it's just something that I'm really good at. You know what I mean? Like, it is true. Most people think that this is everything to them, where he's showing more and more it's not. Like, he wants to go home to his horses.
Right.
They're having horse races.
Right.
Bro left the finals MVP in the training room.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Like, he does not care.
That's true. Yeah, we always talk about sports, which has always been a mainstay in the barbershop, right? You can always rely on sports to keep things going, to keep things, fresh.
And it brings people together, man. Like, the barbershop brings people together. That's what I love about it. It's like, when I go into any barbershop, like, pretty much anywhere, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody's knocking on everybody. Everybody's talking with everybody. Like, it's just a good vibe always.
As it should be,
Exactly. And that's the thing, like you said, about barbershop. It's just, it brings everybody together, man. So that's what's awesome about it. I was kind of tripping out watching you cut the hair because it looked like I had a line and now it's like just clean. Is that what the fade is?
I mean, we still got a little bit more work to do. You know, fade some of these areas out. Eventually, right in here, some people like a ledge when they get to their comb over. Some people like it with no ledge and real tight. So it's all a matter of taking this section of the hair off here.
Oh, okay.
Right? But what I do want to do is spray a little water in.
Okay.
Just so we can find where you want your hard part to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn you around the camera a little bit.
Okay.
So this is kind of where your hair is naturally sitting, where it wants to sit itself, right? We comb your hair over. You have this part that kind of works here. You've seen me shave a little bit of this off already.
Yeah.
So some of this is already gone. We might take a little bit more off, but I wanted to save a little bit.
Do you think that's too high on the head, personally? It's hard for me to see.
Yeah. Well, are you talking about
the hard part itself?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's what I was saying. We'll put a little water in, and we'll make our own to bring it over, right? So we can bring it over however much you want.
I'm good with that.
Does that look about right though?
Yeah, that's about where I would put it.
Right?
Yeah, like right there. Because you throw some product in that bad boy.
And you're good, right?
Yeah.
So boom, pull that out here.
Yeah.
Right there, boom, take some of that off.
Yeah.
That line right there.
Because what I'm going to end up doing probably is just like putting this bad boy down like that.
And letting it roll? Yeah. So you don't want me totally getting rid of that yet?
Oh, if you can get rid of it, get rid of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you rather not have it, but if you had to, you'll make it. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. So that makes sense. So let's go ahead and start working this out.
Okay.
I'm going to leave this a little longer because I think the product will, hold that over, right? So I'm not going to mess with that part, more or less this stuff here, okay? And then the hard part here.
Yep.
We could put some gel. What product do you think you're going to go with?
I'll probably go with the pomade.
Like a pomade? Like a shiny or a dry look?
Probably. I usually go dry, but
okay. The shine will probably hold better.
Okay.
But I do have a dry that could possibly hold for you if you want to go that route. So,
No, let's do shine. Let's try shine, and if it doesn't work, not if it doesn't work, if I don't like the way it looks, I got dry at home.
Okay.
So it'll just be dependent on if I'm gonna buy some shine or if I'm
Well, yeah, man, what's next up on your what's something else interesting that you've
well, I've been watching a lot of golf, but with Tiger Woods out, man, that's one of the big topics is Liv being bought out, or not being bought out, being in the framework deal with the PGA merge. And I felt really bad for the golfers like Rory McIlroy and Tiger, who were left in the dark by the PGA. I understand at the end of the day the PGA is a business, and they're going to look out for their best interests. But you have someone like Tiger Woods who made the game as popular as it is for the most part, and has been your number one supporter along with Roy McIlroy, and you don't tell them, it's kind of shady. But then they just talked about it yesterday with the framework deal that went into place that's going to join the Liv Golf and the PGA Tour and the PIF all into one.
That's cool. So I'm not really familiar with what you're speaking in regards to.
So the Liv Golf is a Saudi Arabian-backed golf league.
Okay.
That paid top tour players hundreds of millions of dollars to leave not to leave the PGA, but to join their league, which resulted in them not being able to play in PGA events.
Oh, wow.
But the world, top 100 golfers, even top 10 golfers left and went. Like Phil Mickelson left. So the problem is people stayed because they were loyal to the PGA, right? And Liv Golf's trying to make the game more modern, where they're playing in a team format. It's loud, it's a party scene, and they pay a ton of money. So, people are leaving.
Of course.
Right?
Money talks.
Exactly.
So
the way that the PGA was defending against it was they were taking away those players' tour cards, which prevented them from playing in a lot of the tournaments.
Oh, so that was the back. Oh,
And that was that.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now that they have joined together in a framework deal, all of the people who accepted money have no consequences, are coming back. They have, they still get all their money that they were promised, and they can now play in all the PGA Tour events.
Wow.
So basically, there was no punishment for them. Now it's a framework deal that can fall through. And this is where I was like, oh, the PGA won this one. So one, they're the majority stakeholders at 51%. And two, it ended all litigation with prejudice. So all the cases that they were facing from Live Golf went away. And now, even if they were to cancel the agreement or the agreement was to fall through, Live Golf, or in those cases specifically, cannot be retried. Like, they can't come back and be like, oh, they ended the agreement, we're going to sue. Yeah. And so now all the PGA has to do is say, okay, no more deal. And they just eliminated all their litigation, and that's it. I think that's super interesting. It's just crazy.
It's the way business set up.
Yeah. Just to have it in the sports world that's been the spotlight's been so bright on it is what's crazy to me. But I don't know, man. What do you think about that top rookie prospect, Wimbai, or I can't say his last name.
Yeah.
The one that's going to be going to the Spurs.
Big guy, big tall guy.
Yeah.
The handles and the.
Yeah.
I mean, man, game changers come around, every so often. He could be one, but just his talent alone is freakish. It's scary, and his capable. What he. I remember when Curry first came from Davidson, and he was a rookie, and everybody was just seeing the possibilities of this kid could be. You know what I mean? Or what he could be, and then
if he could stay healthy,
right? If he could stay healthy, and providing those ankles could stay strong, right? Then he could be this great player, but nobody knew. The sky's the limit. He was like this great player in everybody's head that could be like possibly one of the greatest shooters of all time. And then boom, right? Now we have Curry. He steps into that. Things worked in his favor. So you never know if things are going to work in your favor or not. But if things do work in his favor, the sky's the limit for this kid. Like, I mean,
we could be looking at another Hall of Famer. A perfect comparison to him is Zion, right? Like Zion coming out of college, man.
Yeah, it's a winner, right?
Everybody thought he was going to be it.
Could be no wrong. The
man cannot stay healthy.
I mean, yeah. And health as well. And we know that health has plagued a lot of the great athletes or the people who are about to be the greats, So, I wish I could have seen a lot more of Tracy McGrady providing the bag, or other players, providing what, So, T-Mac was a player that I loved, man. Just loved watching his game. I've
actually never watched him play.
T-Mac was a beast to me, man. That guy was.
So he actually
Tracy McGrady was just.
He had to end his career early because of his back.
I mean, he had a lot of issues with his back, and usually, when you're, you get those back issues, man, it's hard to play a game like basketball.
It's hard to stay up.
Injuries, yeah. For football players, or you know how it goes, but some of those injuries, man. I mean, Dion got turf toe, Oh,
did you see that? Again, I always quote articles because I read a lot of them. But dude, they just announced, or an article just came out that he might lose his left foot. There's a possibility he might lose his left foot. He's already lost two of his toes.
Right. No, I did not.
Yeah, there's an article on ESPN right now talking about it. Yeah, he's basically saying, he's like, listen, if we're gonna do anything like this surgery that he wants to do, because he said basically he can't feel his left foot.
What?
Because of circulation issues.
What?
Yeah, and so he's like, listen, if we're gonna do anything, we gotta do it in the summer before the season starts, because I don't have any time when the season starts to go and get this surgery.
Wow, that's crazy. No, I did not hear that. That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah, what's it called? Did you what do you think about that team? They were 1-11 last year.
Let me get some hair off of it. One, I mean, never a good record when you're 1-year record is showing that, you know. It's,
So the only thing you can do is go up.
I mean, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And, you know, one thing I know about life is, you know, you know, your outlook has a huge, you know, your outlook can definitely weigh out big on some of your issues or whatever you're going through. You know, I mean, outlook is big. So,
You think they could be a top 25 team with him, just with him changing?
Yeah,
because
you do.
You know, I do too.
I do.
I do too.
I really do, man.
What he did at Jackson State, and I get that it's not D1, like amazing college. He's not playing Alabama. He's not playing those teams. He's going to open up against TCU, which is going to be, that's going to be the coming out party. Either they're going to come out and they're going to play TCU tough and they're going to have a good year, or they're going to get blown out. And
TCU's been playing good ball too, though, boy. TCU ain't no joke right now.
TCU's finished fourth.
No joke right now. Yeah, TCU
They went to the college playoffs.
Yeah. Baseball.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, the fact that they're
TCU, man, they ain't no pushover. So, I mean, if they could beat TCU, that'd be
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna have a good year.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, definitely off to a good start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think they're scheduled.
Those Horned Frogs are no joke.
I think they play Stanford and USC too. I think I'd have to look that up, but I know they play TCU. They have some tough games, man. I was actually very surprised with their schedule.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And the colleges pick their schedules.
that's respect.
Except for like the big games, obviously, like Michigan, Ohio State. Those are just gonna happen. They're interleague. Like you're gonna have to put the ones that are outside the league. Like you pick those games,
Right.
so
That's gonna be interesting.
yeah.
It was interesting last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, I just love seeing. I like Dion as a coach. I think he's phenomenal. So I think that'll be really good. He brought his son to be quarterback. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he should have to earn it. I don't know how much he had to earn it. I'm not saying that he doesn't have to. I'm not on the sideline every day. But I just feel like he's going to be handed a D1 starting quarterback position. And I don't know how
I mean, let's face it, man. Politics does play a role.
Oh, yeah.
And sports on every level, right? I mean,
That's true. That is very true.
you know what I mean? So it's hard to ignore and it's hard to get over the politics, especially when you have history working in your favor. It's like it's like genes, you know, genetics working in your favor, you know. So, you know, and that's kind of what it's all about, trying to get that genetic makeup and, kind of get some flashes of greatness, right, that they've seen in previous history. So that's why they're going after these people who've already had previous accolades, because it just seems better for their money, right? More secure for the organization who's searching for these players. They just probably feel that these people were bred to do it, right? But it is what it is, man. You can find great players all over the globe. But I do think that he's going to get that. I do think he's going to get the treatment of the politics working in his favor. And, I mean, maybe rightly so. I mean, at that point, because...
I mean, I watched him when he played for Jackson State. He's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but it's crazy to see politics even at the highest level of a professional sport.
Sure, absolutely.
It's like he's got a better chance to get in the league, even if he's not as good as someone who doesn't have that lineage.
Sure.
Which is...
I mean, it is what it is. I just think that politics does play favor in getting your kids,
Well, you'll have to, and it's way worse in football, like the politics piece of it, because there's been some players in college.
So we'll try.
We're gonna go with Shine.
The Shine. Okay,
yeah, we're gonna go with Shine.
All right.
So what are we getting?
We're gonna go with the little red one.
Okay. Is that a pretty good one?
It's one I like to use a lot. I think it'll hold this and your hair already has like a natural shine to it already. I mean, but I do think that it'll hold this over to make this more prominent.
Okay.
And then we can see how you feel about that. So that's what I like about product areas like this, where we have these little problem areas. That's what the product does its job for. So let's see if the product can do its job.
Yeah, this is. You never let me wrong with the product, because I think there was one that you did that's like you do this and it comes out like all stringy. Is that what?
There's been a few products that kind of there's been a few products that kind of had that type of because all products are different. You know, you don't know how the makers make these products, and that's kind of why we try them out to see if we like them or if we don't like them, what we like about them. I noticed with some barbers, the biggest thing is like people like, of course, the way it works, but the smell, you know, like that's another huge factor for most barbers and people that just, you know.
Well, that's the whole reason I'm going to get the hot sauce in a minute, because that thing smells like.
Oh, that little hot sauce?
Yeah, man. But like you said, it's the smell, it's the look, the feel. Have you ever like went to try a product and you're like, dang, I'm not sure how this is going to go?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you ever try the product on like, do you try those types of products on like close people that like you cut it often, or just randomly throughout the day? Because I guess you can always wash product out. So.
Yeah, but one thing about product is all product is going to work different on people's hair. Like if I put product on your hair, it's not going to work the same as it would on someone else's hair. So sometimes just because this product works good for your friend who has a similar hairstyle to you, and doesn't mean that you're going to get that same exact look that he's pulling out from that product.
Yeah.
You know,
that's very true.
Because some people be like, hey man, what kind of product you using? I don't like the way, you know, and then
they
get home and it's not even the same effect. And you're like, I didn't like it as much as you, man. But, you know.
But if we're being honest, man, like, your hair never looks better than when you leave the barbershop.
Well, it shouldn't, but.
It's like, you just can't do your hair, you know.
So we have this, right?
Yeah.
I would suggest maybe just taking a little bit off.
Do it. Handle business.
All right, so I'm gonna go right here. You never know how it's gonna look though, so that's what I'm gonna
do. It grows back.
So I don't want to take too much off. Well, I'll do it like that.
What do you think? Does it look fire? Yeah, I like it.
But I want to make that line a little bit more prominent. Do you need any more of this off in here though, or that looks about right?
That looks about right, because I'll just grow with it. I'll start putting the product on the side like that.
Okay, so let me just put that line in a little smoother. Yeah. And then my next guy's here, man. It's always a pleasure, man, coming to you and talking sports and just life in general with you, man. You know, you're always welcome to come back through whenever you want. Chop it up with me. And, I encourage you to come back and talk more sports.
Of course.
Who knows, man? We might, you know, they might end up finding what we talk about interesting or not, or, you know, so, but, you know, that's why we do it. And that's why I love the barbershop talk too. It helps the haircut move along, and, you know, keeps everything in good, you say good company.
Yeah. Keeps everything 100.
Yeah, 100%. Here we go now.
Round or square?
It's a taper.
Oh, okay.
Tapered it out.
Cool.
I thought we asked before, so that's why I did it.
Oh, we did. You did ask.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah, that was my fault. I forgot.
No, it's all good. I was like,
yeah, you good, man. You good.
Like, my bad, because I do get it wrong too. So,
nah, you good.
I'm kind of asking you, like, hey, did I?
I did.
I thought I did, man, but yeah, I'm glad you remembered.
Yeah, I just forgot.
Okay, no, cool, perfect.
It looks awesome, man.
All right, no, I appreciate you as always, brother. So I'm gonna get you that mirror. If you say we're good, we are good, and then I don't have to get fired by my next client.
That's right. We're gonna say it's good, and then we're gonna end it.
Hit you with the sauce.
Dang, man.
Everything okay though? I gotta get these little hairs off.
Oh yeah, everything looks good.
All right.
Now I'm just gonna go home, shave, and go out.
Ooh,
I gotta go to a birthday party, man. That's why. Anytime I ever hit a hit you up and I'm like, yo, I need a cut, you always come through.
You stepping out?
Yeah, that's right. Anytime I need it, my man always comes through.
So everything is good though?
Yeah, it looks great. It looks awesome.
Well, let's do this sauce, my man.
Cool.
In the cut.
That's right, man. I'll be back in the cut in a couple weeks, and then we'll check in. Yeah, we'll check in on it, see if I want the cut on the other side.
What the homie? Yeah.
The part on the other side.
Right. That works for me. See, do a poll. What do they like?
Awesome, man.